From LEX 18, your official UK sports station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Tonight. Presented by Central Bank, the official bank of UK athletics.
Welcome to BBN Tonight. I'm Keith Farmer.
And I'm Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, UK football names its next offensive coordinator.
And later, ESPN's Michael Eaves talks Kentucky hoops, and current cat Riley Welch interviews Emmanuel Quickley of the New York Knicks. Can't wait for that. Well, the search for a coach to replace Kentucky football's offensive coordinator over. That's tonight's Big Blue story presented by Baptist Health. Let's introduce you to him. Liam Coen has been named to replace outgoing play caller Eddie Gran and quarterbacks coach Darren Hinshaw. Coen spent the last 3 seasons under Sean McVay with the LA Rams. In his first 2 years, he was an assistant wide receivers coach, switching to assistant quarterbacks coach this season. Here's what Mark Stoops had to say about the hire.
I'm pleased to announce Liam Coen as our new offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. I have recently had the opportunity to spend time with Liam and was immediately impressed with his knowledge and personality to move our program into the future. We expect to be an exciting offense for both our players and fans, and really cannot wait to get going. As soon as Liam's season is over, he'll be joining us, and hopefully he'll have an opportunity to go to another Super Bowl, but as soon as his season's over, he'll be here.
Mary Jo, I think it's a pretty good hire. I think it's a guy who, well, I know he's a guy who went to UMass, but I think it's a guy that's going to want to throw the ball downfield in this offense. We've seen what the Rams have done. He's been around it, soaked up the knowledge, and I think he wants to now show what he can do.
I was going to say, we've seen the Rams offense, and it's not run heavy. And so I think this is exciting. Do you think it has anything to do with the red hair? I mean, he looks like he could be a Stoops.
A Stoops kid?
Yeah, he looks like he could fit into that family. I'm excited about this. On paper, it's a great hire.
I don't think it's the air raid either. I don't think it's the dump pass here and there. I think it's just getting the ball downfield, and I think it's going to be looking for a deep pass.
Sean McVay, who's his boss right now at the Rams, is a brilliant mind in football, so I'm excited to see this too. Let's stay with football. Former UK assistant Mike Leach may have expressed what many of us are feeling after a long year plagued by the pandemic. The Mississippi State coach went on a rant to cap off what he calls a joyless season of college football, and it is classic Mike Leach.
Okay, recruiting, what can you do? Well, you can do this, you can't do that. Well, you can do this instead. Well, you can do that, but not this. Okay, and then, okay, are we going to go ahead and have signing day when it is? Yes, we are. Well, maybe we're not. Yeah, we probably are. Yes, we are. Okay, okay, are we practicing today? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so this many guys were positive. Oh, okay, who are the contact tracers? We got to track that down.
Keith, the question that was asked is, what do you plan to do for Christmas?
Of course it was. Of course it was.
But that's classic Mike Leach right there.
Well, I mean, we had him on earlier this year. You heard from him. I mean, that's awesome. He's just telling you how he feels. And he didn't even bring up the fact of, hey, are we playing this team on Saturday? Well, we don't know yet. We haven't taken our test.
And it's true. This has been Bryce Oliver of UK's program tweeted out the other day. I don't know if people realize how emotionally taxing this year was.
And DeAndre Square said, very.
Yeah, very.
Turning to basketball, we all know it's been a disappointing start for Kentucky this season, and the Wildcats' 1-4 record has prompted ESPN bracketologist Joe Lunardi, you might want to look away, to put UK on his first 4 out as part of the latest 2021 NCAA tournament prediction, along with Arizona, Minnesota, and Penn State. I'm still going to call this one the way too early.
It is way too early because Duke is in there but doesn't have to play any more games for a while. You know what I mean?
Because they opted out of the non-conference.
Yeah, so no. Coach Cal called into his radio show last night and talked about several things, including the play of guard Brandon Boston. The freshman hasn't lived up to the hype just yet, even though he does lead the team in points and steals per game and is second in rebounding.
For us to be what we need, he's got to be better. Shot selection, being tough, doing the things that he's going to have to do. We're showing him tape of some of the other teams and how these guys from that perimeter, how did Kevin Knox play? How did this guy play? How did that guy play? We'll look at it. We're running some of the same stuff. What are you doing when you're in those situations?
Cal also talked about moving Terrence Clark to point guard, saying he is pushing the 6'7" standout to respect the position. Keith, I was shocked actually that Brandon is leading the team in all these areas because it just feels like he should be doing a little bit more.
Might be because he's also leading them in shots taken.
Yes, correct.
And so, some of those are going to fall, and many haven't.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to see that Kevin Knox weave thing along the baseline that he's going to be running and putting up shots from there. That'll be interesting. Kentucky Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart is talking about the impact of the pandemic on his programs going forward. During his update to the Board of Trustees yesterday, Barnhart said they're looking at a revenue loss of $35 million, mainly because of lack of ticket sales with football and basketball, but especially because of the ticket-related contributions made to the K-Fund. Barnhart says they already reduced expenses before the season began, and without the need to travel for recruiting in the pandemic, they've saved about $10 million.
We've made some adjustments. On the other side of that coin is some very significant expenses as it relates to COVID. The testing protocols and all the things that we put in place, Tom, have been really a lot for our program, and we're bearing those costs and working to try and get our arms around all those. Between SEC revenues, reducing our expenses, philanthropy, and continuing to find ways to walk through this pandemic, we'll find a way through our fund balances.
All right, coming up next on BBN Tonight, we're going to talk with Michael Eaves of ESPN.
The UK grad talks about what it's like to watch this year's team struggle out of the gate. That's next.